Hello there, H+III+T, it's aboot that dang on time. My apologies in advance for not being as loud as I normally is. But if anybody knows me personally, and if anyone has been paying attention to my last couple uploads, I think I got it. I think I'm dying, but that's not the end of there. And if you're a family member watching this, exaggeration, I'm probably fine, but oh, it sure don't feel like it, but that's not even there. Listen, in my never-ending quest to make sure that all of my Knicks-related videos during this hiatus, if you will, is as silly as possible, I've decided to do as Corbin Blue said in High School Musical, and I've decided to push it over to the limit. I read the comments in the last video, actually the last couple videos, and I don't seem to be getting my point across. I'm trying to make these videos as silly as humanly possible because I keep getting serious comments. Not that I don't love the serious comments. That's not what this is, gosh dang it. So in my never-ending quest, I've decided to step it up a little bit more. You see the title of this video. Today, I'm going to tell you how the New York Knicks are responsible for Derrick Rose's first injury. If after this video you still think I'm a serious channel, I have failed on multiple occasions. But that's not the end of there. Roll the intro while I play Animal Crossing. Okay, now let me get this out the way. Las buenos, son. Okay. Now I want you to turn this up. We ain't playing no games anymore. Okay. Backpack full of artillery. Shots fired, chest line literally. I ain't even gotta remind you, but I'm gonna killing them. Get on a line, you. Backpack full of artillery. Shots fired, just shot literally. I ain't even gotta remind you, but I'm gonna killing them. Get on a line, you. Same people that despise you, cover up lies and... Welcome back. Missed you. I'm lying, I didn't. Not at all. It's been like literally 5 seconds over here, but for you it's been like a minute, but that's not even there. Today I'm bringing back an old series that I haven't thrown out there since the Lil Wayne days, since the Lil Wayne era on this channel. I'm bringing back conspiracy theories just to hammer home the point that I am Captain didn't look up the facts, gosh dang it. Now let's jump in the old quarantine time machine real quick and go back to a much happier time. I'm gonna bring this back to spring 2012. Now this is after the week of Linsanity. Yes, the week of Linsanity. I forget that. There's like a whole YouTube channel dedicated to a week, but that's not here and there. I'm gonna leave that alone. Shout out to you for getting your coins, gosh dang it. That's nice. But anyway, so this is after the week of Linsanity. This is when that man was hurt. But that's a video for another day, gosh dang it. And it was just basically Melo out there by himself, right? And we were, I believe, the 8th seed. Now you see, I'm not looking any of this up because, again, I want to drive home the fact that if you want something factual, I am not the channel. But that's not even there. I believe we were the 8th seed at the time. We were quote-unquote fighting to stay in the playoffs or something like that. And I think the Bulls at the time were the first seed, I believe. So this was a very, very crucial game because it was looking like what could have messed around and been the playoffs. It was crucial that we won the game to remain in the playoffs, and it was crucial for the Bulls to make sure that they kept their first place status. Now, we all know what happened in that game. Carmelo Anthony hit one of, well, probably the most clutch series of shots in Knick history. I'm not going to say his career, but Knick history easily. And he was able to propel us in the most dramatic way possible to maintain our status in the playoffs and such. Hit those deep threes, missed a couple high fives in the crowds, all that fun stuff. One of the greatest moments in Knick history. People really sleep on that moment. That was, Jesus, that was crazy, but that's not even there. How does this relate to the Derrick Rose injury? Well, again, if we look back to the standings, how things ended up, from what I think, because I did no research whatsoever, but from what I remember, we ended up being the 8th seed because Melo kind of carried us, and I think we were the 8th seed, and we went up against the Heat that year. So that means that
At some point in there, the Bulls went from the top seed to the second seed. Because I remember Philly was right next to us too. This is pre-processed, but that's not here or there. So that means somewhere in the standings, Philly, remained at the 7th spot, and we were at the 8th. But that's not super important. Because we beat the Bulls, right? That means you got to add an L over to their records. So that means in some way we contributed to the Derrick Rose Bulls of 2012 going down to the second seed and Miami finishing ahead of them. Now again, if I am 100% wrong, I don't care. And you know which part of my anatomy you can put your lips on, gosh dang it. But just roll with me here, because if I'm right, oh, this is the greatest conspiracy theory of all time. So, we were one of the reasons why the Heat finished above the Bulls and the Bulls were the second seed, right? So let's say hypothetically Carmelo doesn't save us, he chokes, and we don't win that game, right? We'd probably still make the playoffs because at the time Melo was torching people. So I'm sure we still probably would have won that Magic game against Dwight Howard and Van Gundy and all that foolishness, gosh dang it. We would have won a bunch of those other games. So I'm not concerned about us not making the playoffs. We probably still would have been the 8th seed. And it's possible that Derrick and the squad would have maintained some type of momentum after a crazy win streak where they just annihilated us in a really competitive game that went to overtime, right? So they would have remained in the first seed in my universe. So that means instead of playing Philly, because they're the second seed and Philly was the 7th seed, and instead of it just being not even a challenge, Derrick Rose is playing garbage minutes and he's out there wilding, doing crazy skip passes and all that jumping around and shenanigans. If it wasn't for us winning that game, we play the Bulls in the first round. The games are a lot more competitive, clearly from the game that we played with them. It's not just a walk in the park. There's no such thing as garbage minutes against the Knicks because you saw matchup-wise that's a lot more competitive. Derrick Rose doesn't get injured because Derrick Rose doesn't play garbage minutes against Philly. Whether they get past us or not, Derrick Rose never gets injured. So my theory is, if Melo doesn't hit that crazy, career-defining final game winner in overtime, if we don't beat the Bulls in April of 2012, if we don't have that magical performance at Madison Square Garden, Derrick Rose doesn't get injured. Now again, it is extremely possible that somewhere factually you can poke holes in this until the proverbial cows come home, gosh dang it, which I'm just going to look out the window and I'm just going to assume that all the cows are in quarantine as well. Which, side note, if anybody owns a farm, what's going on with your cattle? Do they go inside? Are they practicing social distancing? What goes on with that? I'm a little bit curious. Please leave that down below. But in the 20% chance that I'm right, and everything adds up factually, according to the history books and records, y'all know the kid just came up with the greatest conspiracy theory in NBA history. Think about that. We don't beat the Bulls that day. They carry that momentum into the playoffs. They remain in the first seed. Miami isn't the first seed. They play us in the first round. Derrick Rose never gets injured. And can you imagine? I mean, of course you can. There's a bunch of nasty 2K YouTubers who have done this scenario to death, gosh dang it. But imagine a world where Derrick Rose never has that first injury. Now, he might have had it eventually at some point, gosh dang it, but it didn't happen at that point. Derrick Rose never gets hurt in 2012. Think about that, gosh dang it. Let that settle in your spirit, gosh dang it. Think about that. Like, comment, subscribe, H+III+T. See another triple OG putting as much work as me. Do me a favor, point them out. You're not going to find them because when you add in all the context of me as a human being, you're just not going to find another person, but that's neither here nor there. And for everyone upset that I don't have, like, footage or, like, pictures or, like, clips or something like that, and, like, y'all are going to leave, like, you know, comments of, like, oh, why don't you just do the partnership with the NBA? You can have access to the library. Oh, yeah, so I can end up like Free Dawson? I bet you everybody misses those highlights right about now, don't you? Don't you? Let's hope House of Highlights can stay around, but that's not here to there. Anyway, let me know your foolishness down below. And if you don't have anything constructive to leave down below, then you can just leave a penguin emoji. Now, if you'll excuse me, I'm going to go edit this video, and I know it'll take 5 hours to upload because everyone is at home. So, you know, the Wi-Fi is just trash right now, but that's not here there. I'm going to go play Animal Crossing New Horizons on my Nintendo Switch. Have I talked about how much I like this game yet? Like, I mean, my God in heaven. Like, I'm literally dying, but this game is keeping me mildly sane. Oh, apricots, but that's neither here nor there. I'll see y'all later. Well, I'll see y'all on Thursday, assuming that, again, I'm still alive. Bye!